Okay, Shannon, we're going to take a look here, week 4, assignment 1, drawing. First off, image quality is really poor, and it's not to the spec size that we would want. 400, 300 for each of them, and I think you do need to get them to be just a little bit bigger overall. It's not even that it's this one is 300 by 400, but actually there's only that much kind of space of the actual drawing, so you're cutting out about 150 pixels there, so a little bit too small for our purposes, but they're also kind of pixelated, and they're kind of poorly lit. That's kind of what it looks like initially, and I have to kind of play around to get the line work to come out. So I think in terms of kind of the general process, I think this is in place. I think every step that you've done though does need to have a little bit more put into it, a little bit more time and just a little bit more kind of careful application of the marker. This is fine for this initial assignment because it's just kind of a loose beginning sketch. You have kind of the basic kind of structures, colors, perspective going on as the source material, which is good, but there's things like proportions that you'll definitely want to deal with in a more in an assignment that's going to be more complex and is going to have a little bit more finish to it, like the thickness of the leg. I think some transitions and coloring in the background, working with the perspective a little bit more, and that sort of stuff. It's not a huge deal right now, but it's not. I don't want you to kind of think that the process should be this kind of loose and this quick all the time. I think you have to plan a little bit more, and you have to be just as careful with your application of marker as you ever were with any of the assignments. It does feel like it's being worked through though. You have kind of an initial line work, some kind of basic values being put into place, although I would say you'd want to save the darkest values for last, so things like some parts of the leg would be towards the end of the process, but you've got your initial stuff in place here, and then having the color and further darkening and giving some detail. So I think it works well for the assignment. It's not meant to be kind of this huge assignment where there's exact amount of detail and texture and that sort of stuff, but I also kind of worry that, especially if it's something that's new to people, that they kind of get the wrong idea when they're doing it. So I just want to kind of reinforce and make sure. I think this is also exacerbated by the fact that there isn't really any writing on your part from kind of the questions, the discussion questions. What do you think of the process? Did it help? Did it hinder? How is it different from what you've been working before? So being able to have those questions available to me, it really helps to see where you're at and where you're coming from, and it also helps me to kind of look ahead and see where maybe there's some problem areas. So that's something that you would want to have answered, as well as having the drawing in. Otherwise, just kind of keep it up. Just try to follow through with the specs as you can. Definitely try to get better image quality pictures than what we have here. They're just a little too dark. They're a little too grainy. But otherwise, just keep at it, and we'll see you for your next one.